Okay. Good afternoon, villagers, and welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Unapologetic Amateur, looking for experts. And my name is Rose Moore. As you know, I'm the co-host. Our host, Ruby Shivers, she will not be with us today on camera. She had another detail, but she will be back next week. And so myself and my distinguished guest again from last week, Mr. Ron McCrae, you well-known host of
Poetically speaking.
Poetically Speaking, will be here to help us along and to share with us his excerpts or whatever he wants to share from his awesome podcast. So, Ron, what say ye today?
Even right now, first of all, let me say this. Good evening, good afternoon to everyone who's listening. It's always a wonderful day when you wake up. So
Yes.
what says me today is the fact that we're here to entertain you, but we also look for your feedback unapologetically. So be straight up and let's hear from you. Let's talk together. We are here as a family and we want to be able to collaborate with each other. And that's what's important. So, for me, it's a great day. It's a great moment. I cannot complain. And hopefully and prayerfully that everybody at the sound of our voice is also feeling well. But if nothing else, always be thankful for just waking up and being able to breathe and to see the light of each day.
Yes.
And that's what's important.
Absolutely. Well said. Absolutely. I concur 100%. This afternoon, we're going to start off by introducing our youth co-host, Halim. I know that they haven't been here all summer. They needed a break, but we have great things planned for this fall season. And we're going to kick it off starting next month. And as I've been telling you that we're covering Carter Woodson's book, The Miseducation of Black Folks. So this is a timely time for that. It's a timely time for that with everything going on in our world today, especially our society and with the man in the White House and all that he's doing to try to continue to erase our history, but it's not going to happen. We've been the first people on the earth, and we have survived by the grace of God, moving forward in the plan of God until he comes and he comes and changes things. But in the meantime, we have we have not only the opportunity, but we also have the obligation to educate for ourselves, our children, our prodigy, because they're going to carry the legacy of who we are, our people. We must never forget who we are. We must continue to sound the drums of Africa. And that's why this podcast is dedicated to looking for experts, all experts in historical events throughout the ages, spiritual guidance, and psychologists to help our people understand the atrocities that have happened to them through time and to continue to raise up the bloodstained banner of our Lord and to teach our children who they are, the great kings and queens that they came from, and to continue to move along our melanated people. Okay. just bear with me because you know I'm a new host and I want to get everything in that I'm supposed to. So, without further ado, while I'm talking about the children, we are blessed to have Halim here with us today, and he has something that he wants to share. What say you, Halim?
Good afternoon. Habari gani. That means how are you in Kiswahili. We are learning a lot about our African history, and language is one of the most important elements. I am Halim Moss, your youth co-host.
Yes.
I am coming from our home school, Williams Acubalon Cultural Academy of Plainfield. My fellow students and I will be coming to you monthly with what we are learning about our history. I am so excited.
I'm so excited also.
Wow.
I can't wait till
Absolutely.
we reconvene and be able to share, and not only share on this podcast, but to share at school, share your heritage with your friends, because believe it or not, we have a lot of work. We've come a long way, but we still have a longer way to go until we are where we are supposed to be, and each and every melanated individual, from a baby to an adult, know who they are and where they came from. So we're looking forward to it. So thank you so much, Helene, for that. And we will be seeing you again next month with all that you have to share. I just want to take a moment right now to remember one of our heroes, our female heroes, who have passed on and gone to glory. I know that it's been over the news that I think the right pronunciation is Ashana Shakur. We lost her. And I know that you know her legacies in the 60s, all through the 60s and 60s and 70s. And we just want to give tribute and honor to whom honor is due, because this young lady at the time put her life on the line for the struggles of her people. And the struggles continue, but her legacy that she laid of dedication and perseverance, even in the face of adversity and all the atrocities that happened to her, to where she had to hide out. We praise God that she was able to pass on a free woman. So we just want to give tribute to her today and honor to her today, because it is going to be upon her shoulders that we stand and move on. So I just wanted to take that time and give honor to her legacy and rest in peace, because you've earned it. Next, villagers, I want to bring on. I don't know if our guest is here yet, but our guest is here. Well, I just heard that our guest is in the house, and I am so excited to have him back again. Mr. Lamar Maxon. He is the founder of the assistant director from Plainfield, New Jersey, and his recent work on award-winning director at Arts, is it Stapleton's?
Oh, yeah. So let me just fill you in, because
Okay.
yeah, you can read that all day long.
Right.
I'm the founder of the Queen City Film Festival,
Okay.
right here in Plainfield, New Jersey. We're in our 8th year. I have a long history in film production.
Well, welcome.
And thank you for having me back. I
Yes,
mean,
I'm
we had a
excited.
great conversation last time I was here.
Yes.
So I just wanted to jump right in, because I have a short window to talk to you today.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I want to make sure that we get our points in, and
Yes.
we maybe take some calls if we can, or whatever is going on in here. I'm here for it. So how y'all doing today?
Great.
Excellent.
Great. As Ron had said, We woke up this morning clothed in our right mind, activity of our limbs, and blood running warm in our veins. Therefore, we are blessed and we're great.
Amen. Amen.
There's no complaints whatsoever, because even in short, even having our young co-hosts, and that's the future here
Yes.
in the present.
Yes.
You know, along with the opportunity of even having in the midst a filmmaker, a production who put things together for people, a collaboration, and that's what's important, because that's what all this is all about.
Yes, I'm
You
so
know, we don't have to
excited.
apologize for anything. This is unapologetic. This
Yes,
is straight
this
up.
is
No matter how you
It
look
is.
at it.
And that
So
is the
even
title
as
of the
short
show, isn't it?
Yeah.
even as a short window comes,
Yes.
but we're going to get enough in to entertain, and believe me, you will not regret the moment, regardless of how short it may be. The point is, stuff is being put out there, and that's what's
Yes.
important.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
where do we start? Where do we start?
Start wherever you like. And then I'll interject a little bit later.
Sure.
I have some questions that I want to ask, and but start wherever we left off last week. You were telling us all that you were doing, all that was
Right.
going on.
Right.
How there was, they're shooting a film here in Plainfield. I
Well,
hear.
that's the
why I
first
was
thing that came to my
diverted.
mind.
Yes.
That the first thing that came to my mind
Great place to
is
start.
that right now in the city of Plainfield, New Jersey, but also in Union County and in the state, film production is at an all-time high.
Wow.
Now, there are reasons why that's happening, technical reasons. There are new tax incentives, or not new, but there are tax incentives that have been put into place by this current administration, led by Phil Murphy, that have made the business climate agreeable to large corporations, studios, and producers of content. So what you have now is a Netflix studio that's being built in what formerly is known as Fort Monmouth in South Jersey, and then also there is a new facility being built. I'm not sure if the ground has been broken on that project yet, but Lionsgate, which is a huge filmmaking production, will be building a facility on the right on what is Newark Avenue, right on the border of Newark and Elizabeth. So film production is happening. Movies, TV series, and shows are being produced in and around us all the time. And so specifically right now, today, there is a large Netflix production filming right in downtown Plainfield. Not the first of this year. This is probably like the 7th or 8th production of 2025 that is taking place in the city. And quite possibly might be like the 5th or 6th Netflix project. So Netflix is booming. They're out here spending money. They're coming to the city of Plainfield. I'm proud to play a part in that.
Yes.
Other than being the founder of the Queen City Film Festival, I'm also the chairman of the Union County Motion Picture and Television Commission. So my experience in film production has led me to these executive spaces where these types of production deals are taking place. And I'm really happy to be a part of bringing these types of productions to my hometown.
Wow, quite an opportunity, because it's important to have a seat at the table. If you want anything to happen, you have to have a seat at the table.
Indeed. But it also starts with knowing what you want, right? I didn't necessarily ask for this. However, my years of experience, again, I've worked on a lot of shows, and we can talk about that. That's in my bio. You can look at that later, and, it's not something that I really like to talk about per se, but I can tell you I've been working in film and TV for decades now.
Wow.
I'm that old. I have a 32-year-old son and a 28-year-old
look
son.
great.
Thank you.
Because you don't look at
Well, sometimes I'll be breaking down. Knees don't work as well, But all jokes aside, I started at a real early age, and my whole goal was to work behind the scenes to make things happen. And the trajectory of my experience led me to a space where I could exercise my knowledge of business, my knowledge of governmental affairs, and how the business of making film and TV and content intersects with those two things. And so then you get me being, nominated and elected to the Film Commission of Union County, but then also I'm able to sort of help market my town as a great place
Yes.
to make film.
Right.
And I know that specifically because I spent a good number of years producing short films, projects right here in the city of Plainfield, using Plainfield as a backdrop for my own films. So that led us to where we are today, where you have Netflix right downtown on Park Avenue.
That is incredible.
I'd like to ask a question
Sure,
to
sir.
tie into that, because this is so important and it's really impressing. And to kind of go back a half a step in reference to even now, as we both know, at least I just learned in reference to what they're doing in Plainfield now as
Sure.
far as some production. Now, is this part of this production, or would they continue to incorporate the history of Plainfield? Because I remember, I was born in Plainfield, and I used to hang out here when I was at AT&T.
Sure.
But even now, as they continue to move forward, would there be history of the past as well as the present to move into the future?
Well, sure. I mean, showing the past is part of what these films are doing. All right? They're seeking out unique spaces that represent a particular time period or a particular look or a particular environment.
Right.
And that all comes from the creative side of it.
Right.
Whatever the story is about, and then they sort of connect with the locations team and the directors to
Right.
figure out, what's the best look, what's the best building, what's the best facade,
they're
what's
doing.
for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so Plainfield has such a rich history,
Tell
to
me.
your point. The architecture, the
Yes.
spaces,
Yes.
the uniqueness of our
Yes.
downtown
She's
environment.
not the Queen City for nothing.
Exactly. And so, to your point, you have everything under the sun here in Plainfield, sands, water, and mountains. And even there, you can sort of what they call fake the Watchung Mountains for
Oh.
a
yeah.
wooded area, a heavily
Yeah.
wooded
Yeah,
area,
right, right up
which
the
could
road.
which could translate as mountainous.
Right.
There are fields here in Plainfield. There's farmland here
Yes.
in Plainfield. There's urban centers here in Plainfield.
Yes.
There's dilapidation, but there's also gentrification.
Yes.
There's huge mansions in
Yes.
Plainfield,
Yes,
as we
there
all
is.
know.
Yes.
Back to your point about being the Queen City,
Yes.
the original home of all of the millionaires
Oh,
in the
yes.
United States of
Yes,
America.
yes.
But so they had homes like J.P. Morgan and other
Yes,
millionaires like
absolutely.
that built their summer homes here.
Right.
And those homes are so unique. Those spaces are so unique that film companies can now tap into historical content, telling stories of the past by using those kinds of spaces.
Okay.
So because Plainfield, one, is a film-ready town, which is a term that the state, it's a program for certification, which means that the town is abreast of filmmaking situations, codes of conduct. They've put together ordinances that designate permit fees and schedules, and they have a panel of experts that are partners and essentially for when a film company lands with 200 people and 25 18-wheeler trucks.
Right.
And if anybody wants to ride past the Randolph Road
Right.
complex, you'll see their home
just
base.
came through it.
You'll
I
see
know.
the home base right there. And what are these trailers? What are these trucks?
Yes.
What's going on here?
Yes.
That's a film home base.
Okay.
So the city of Plainfield is film ready and certified. And so that makes it easier for these film companies to do business in town.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I've seen that from time to time, especially in the historical district.
Yeah,
I used to see them with all the big trailers, and then they block off the street,
sure.
the cameras. The whole
And you'll
thing.
see more of that, more to come. As long as I live here, I'm going to continue to promote Plainfield as the place for large scale film production to take place. Again, I've been doing this type of work, working on productions in and around Plainfield for decades now.
Wow, that is
So,
fantastic. Let me ask you a
Yep.
question. Since you're at that point, what is the opportunity for employment in these when they come to shoot a film for the residents of Plainfield, the youth, the residents? Like
sure.
the
So
extras,
there
whatever.
are a number of ways to get involved, but it takes time.
Okay.
The state has put together programs, training programs for crew members or people who want to be involved in the crew. And then on an acting level, all actors know that you have to do the work. You have to do more auditions. You have to have the right headshots and packages. Even as an extra, you have to be aware of the business practices. So you have to be paying attention to the publications, Variety and Hollywood Reporter, and
Okay, yeah.
that's where those kinds of advertisements are placed. And if you're an actor, you know that, right? But also, a lot of times these film companies will put out a blanket notice on Facebook
Okay.
about needing extras. So I would recommend that everyone go to njeda.com, .gov rather, and look up the Film Ready New Jersey Film Commission website
Okay.
through that. And they have announcements about productions that are taking place in New Jersey, whether or not they're looking for actors, background actors, extras.
Okay. That's great.
And that's a good way to break in.
Yeah.
Now, on the youth side,
yes.
we have a program called the Film Future Club, which we run through our film festival, the Queen City Film Festival, which essentially creates opportunities for young people to either strengthen whatever academic knowledge and classes they've already had,
Yes.
and or teach them from the ground up various positions in the film business so that they can be prepared. We teach them the business practices, the approach, how to market yourself, but we also teach them how to write, how to edit,
That is fantastic.
how to shoot with different types of cameras,
Yeah.
the process of how to create a short form story, because it's an 8-week program. It's after school, so we only have 2 hours per session to get all of that information over an 8-week time period.
Wow.
So programs like that do exist in our area. Of course, I'm going to champion Queen City Film Festival and the Film Future Club, but there are others that are available, and it's just about doing the research. And when people want to be involved in something, they find out about it.
Yes. They
Right?
do. Yes.
And
they
so I would recommend that everyone be as assertive as possible. Go for what you want
Right,
in this life,
right.
and don't accept no for
Right.
an answer. It's the only reason why I'm able to sit here today, speak through this microphone with such, strength,
do. Right.
clarity, is because I've worked hard to be able to present this information and give back. I'm not a gatekeeper.
Right.
I'm opening the gates and letting everybody know
That
what
is
that
fantastic.
what that process looks like.
Right.
And that's why the film festival is so important, because not only do we have an array of films. This year we're showing 32 films from 5 different countries. Films of every different genre. So there are short films, there's documentaries, there's feature films. And in those short film categories, the content is different. There's drama, there's horror, there's comedy.
Right.
So we present all of those films for the public's enjoyment. But at the same time, the people who make those products come and sit down in front of the audience, and we ask them tough questions about what it took, how did they finance it, where did they get the idea from, how did they get the crew together, how long did it take?
Wow.
And we ask questions of these creative people about the process. So anybody who wants to get involved, anybody who wants to know how to become the next director, the next Spike Lee, the
Yes.
next Denzel Washington,
Yes.
I would recommend you come to the Queen City Film Festival. And so to that point, we have free community events during the festival. The festival is from October 16th to 19th. And on the last day, Sunday, which will be scheduled at Plainfield High School, we have a career development day.
Fantastic.
And it's free to the students.
Wow, wow.
It's free to every single high school age student in the city
Wow.
of Plainfield.
Wow.
And I've made that clear to the Board of Education. I made a presentation last week to the board to invite not only the administration and the commissioners, but every single high school age student can come on Sunday, October 19th, to witness all of this information. And even if they don't want to be involved in film, come hang out and learn something
Right,
new.
and learn
Be
something.
exposed to something different than just a football
Right,
game or a
right,
basketball game or
right.
just hanging out with your
Right,
boys playing
right,
Xbox.
Right. It's important. To
Yeah, you
really-
got to expose yourself to
to
new
the arts,
things.
to all arts, and and that's one that is really, really important.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question. Talking about Asana Shakur,
Mm-hmm.
do you think this is a time where the books that Ruby have written, and this is one that I really highly recommend
Mm-hmm.
because of all that we're going through in these days and time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's called Why Shouldn't I Cry?
Yeah.
Ode to the Black Man,
Mm-hmm.
because of all that we've been put through. And in lieu of her passing and in honor of her legacy, this book time has come
Sure.
to pick it up so that it would help us to understand and process the emotions of all that we are experiencing even now, because now we're almost reliving it
Sure.
through memories and through policies and through things that happen. And we want to honor, I'll get to that question in 1 minute that I'm directing to. We want to honor those who were the trailblazers to such to the struggle
Right.
of the melanated people.
Right.
We want to honor them, and because they honor theirs. You know what I'm saying? They
Sure.
honor theirs. And they haven't even done anything courageous, but they honor theirs for almost nothing. We want to lift that bloodstained banner
Yeah.
for ours who have sincerely given our lives. And this is a book whose time, well, this time has been here, but this is time to raise this book again.
Sure.
And let it be an understanding and somewhat of a comfort to be able to process those emotions that every time we go through something like we're going through today. So my question to you is, many great films have been made and many great autobiographies have been made. Is there any room for writers to submit their ideas to raise up films honoring the legacy? Because this is one, I lived in that time.
Yep.
I lived in that time. And the only thing that I had to really keep me in mind of our struggle at that time was The Last Poets. I memorized everything on
We
that
talked about
album.
that last time I was
yes.
here.
And that helps me to remember the struggle.
Sure.
You know, Angela Davis and all the lives, Huey Newton and all the lives that were so unjustly taken
Sure.
at that time. They did do a film on the Black Panthers.
Sure.
But I'm talking about updated information, you know, and the unsung heroes like Ashana Shakur.
Right.
Yeah.
So, firstly, because that's a power pack question, shout out to Asada Shakur, who is the mother of Tupac Shakur, one of the most well-known rappers of all time, who carried the messages of the Black Panther Party
Yes.
in his music. And we talked about conscious rap versus mumble rap, jumble rap,
Right.
and nonsensical rap.
Yes, yes,
And the
we
differences between that. And the general here is Storm Norm of BKS1. Shout him out. Do we got a
Yes,
clap?
Norm.
Do we got sound for
Yes,
Storm Norm?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
got something for the Storm.
Absolutely. He's
But, you know, we've talked in depth about the effects of music on young people and how, you know, what that time period did, the 60s, the civil rights movement, and the struggle, how it impacted music in the 70s and 80s
Yes.
into the 90s.
Yes.
And then
It kinda died down.
Now it died because
Yes.
they killed it. The corporations saw there was a movement taking place amongst youth that was going to be too difficult to overcome,
okay.
and they stopped the distribution of that conscious music.
Okay.
Point blank.
Okay. I understand.
So, take that concept and apply it to film. The same thing has occurred in the film and television business where they gatekeep and control. They minimize important stories. And if it's a story that they can continue to control and be the hero,
Yeah.
then that's when they let those stories out.
We're gonna have to change that.
12 Years a Slave,
Yes.
you know, other movies like
Yes,
that.
and then it dies
but
down.
by the
You're
way, I'm not mad at movies like that. I love 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
It taught me something.
Yes.
I did not know that story. I traveled to New Orleans and actually saw the home and the space where that gentleman was kidnapped to.
Wow.
And it was a very moving experience for me. When we talk about writers and filmmakers in general, and you ask me about submitting their work,
Yes.
I would then go to whom? Whom are they going to submit to if they don't submit to themselves and to God? That's the first.
Okay.
Right?
Absolutely.
Every creative must make a decision that they are going to do it for the love of the art
Yes.
and for the mission.
And to tell a story. Right. The mission.
Tell the
Right.
story
Yes.
how you see fit.
Right.
Write that script. Write that document. Whatever it is, put it together. Tell that documentary story, right? I'm working on a number of projects right now. One of them includes a documentary about, I can tell this story. I had to
Go
think if I
ahead.
have any non-disclosure agreements here. But no, I'm working on a story about the Plainfield pools and Hannah Atkins.
I don't know her.
Hannah Atkins? The Hannah Atkins pool on Plainfield Avenue.
I know Rushmore.
There's Rushmore Pool.
Oh, Plainfield.
There's
Yes.
Plainfield Avenue Pool,
Yes,
which is
yes.
Hannah Atkins Pool.
Okay.
And that pool was championed by the great Agyars Cathcart,
Oh, I didn't know.
who
See, I'm
recently passed
learning.
away,
Okay. Yeah.
and the great Mr. His name just jumped out of my head. Judkins. Harvey Judkins.
Yeah, Harvey Judkins.
Harvey Judkins, Hannah Atkins, and Agyars Cathcart helped build those pools at a time where black people couldn't even swim in public pools.
Isn't that phenomenal?
We were not allowed to swim in public pools because they didn't want us in the water with them because they thought that the black would rub off on them and the germs of blackness would taint their bodies. And so now our people in our community went out and built these pools. That's a story. So I was approached by Veronica Taylor, the superintendent of Parks and Recreation here, to work on that documentary. And
Wow.
so we are putting together that piece. And my point is that as an independent producer and storyteller, I have to look for creative ways to make it happen. I cannot be swayed by the amount of content that's being released. I just have to focus on the story that I'm trying to tell and figure out ways to get that story told, whether it be by partnerships, whether it be by sponsorships, whether it be by grants, whether it be by self-funding. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've paid a whole bunch for a whole bunch of things to happen. And I've put myself into positions that my wife would be like, what are you doing? Why are you spending all of that money?
Right.
Because it's important to tell, and it's an investment.
Right. The conviction is where it starts. Like
Correct.
You said.
You have to believe that you're going to be able to do something with the thing that you're investing in.
Right.
If you're in business, let's say I want to be a doctor. Everybody knows that medical school costs hundreds of thousands to go and to get your degree as a doctor. That's an investment that you're making. So in the same vein, no one ever considers that same type of work ethic and practice when it comes to the arts. And you have to take it that seriously.
Yes, I could imagine.
So that's my advice to a writer, a young producer, a young director, or anybody else that wants to break into the arts scene. You got to get ready and do it yourself, and you can't be looking for Netflix or anybody else to come save you.
Yes.
Nobody's going to come save you.
You're right. I do believe that. And I tell you, I thank you very much for taking that time to explain that, because I know a lot of young people are writing, and they're writing in colleges, because we have a story to tell. And as Ruby always says, taken from the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, truth from the earth shall rise, crushed to the earth shall rise again.
Correct.
And like I said, it has died down. And then when we don't really bring these things back to the attention of our people and the public at large, then these things, they sort of find ways to block it and to replace it with entertainment and everything else.
Sure.
But this is important.
Absolutely.
This is very important to our people and to our legacy. And the time has really come to let the truth rise again.
Right.
Yes.
And if I may, I want to just expand on that a little bit. I don't want to come off as being harsh. I want people to understand that this business is super serious.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to take it serious, and you're not ready for the bumps and the bruises and the, oh, no, we can't be involved in that.
I get you. The diligence is serious.
You have to build a network of people who believe in you and what you have going on, and make that work. And so, again, the Queen City Film Festival is that local space of resource for people in that direction, who are moving in that direction. And even if you're writing, right? Writing books, writing poetry, writing stories, you're going to meet high-level, very technical writers at the Queen City Film Festival who can give you advice on how to take what you've written and translate it into perhaps something visual. And so these are skill sets that are not easy to come by. They're not skill sets that you can just walk into a building and say, teach me everything you know.
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter is that so much of it is learned on the go. And so I urge young, old, whoever, come to the Queen City Film Festival, October 16th to the 19th. Go to the website, www.qcffnj.com. Look at our offerings. Look at our schedule. If you can't afford a ticket, maybe consider writing a letter.
Okay.
And seeing how you can be sponsored if you can't afford to go.
Yeah.
Come to one of the free community events that are on the schedule.
Okay.
Maybe that would be your ticket in. But there's so many ways to go. If you don't have enough money, if you only have some, you can still go.
Okay.
We make it accessible to everybody, no matter what your situation is. And if you really want it, if you want success, you want the knowledge, you want a chance to experience this one-of-a-kind opportunity directed by people like us from our community who look like us, who have gone through the struggle like us, then come on down. Queen City Film Festival.
I'm going to be there. And I'm sure, Ron, you're going to definitely try to be
absolutely.
there, and
I'll
Ruby,
be
and
there.
I'm try to bring the young people. And I want to thank you very much for your time. I know
Absolutely.
that I asked a lot of questions. I just want to be considerate for my wonderful co-host today.
Sure.
I haven't given him a chance
Bruh,
to say
ask
much.
me something.
Do you have anything you want to say? To
Well,
the
it's not
camera?
enough time. But anyway, no jokes aside. Just right quick, everything that was just said in the conversation is so true. But let me just quickly in some of these points. One, in reference to, and I can't remember everything, but let's just say for starters, even with the youth in itself, to come out to participate, to see, to listen, to learn.
Yeah.
And somebody, even during that time or whatever, be able to touch bases with somebody and knowing that somebody's going to take at least a minute or 5 minutes
Sure.
to educate
Talk to them,
somebody
yes.
to say, look,
Right.
from the start of a raw person who has no clue about something, let me take 5 minutes and explain something to you, because that's what's important. I mean, if a child or a senior, whoever, never had a clue, but they have an interest, and as you said, and I agree with you, having the desire,
Yes.
the interest to say, look, I want to. Can you help me? Will you help me? How can you help me? Because there's nothing worse than being turned away because somebody claims they don't have time.
Right.
Now, there's a difference between doing something and you're in the midst of putting something together. But as a whole, is to know that somebody could relate to you or refer you
Yes.
to somebody, to somebody, to somebody. Because as people come in, nobody should walk out disappointed.
Right.
And I say this even with church. You don't go out the same way you came in.
That's right.
Because when you come in, you look for something. But when you leave, you should be a new person.
You
knowing
got
that I
something when you
received
leave.
something.
Right, something
You know,
to
you
hold
gotta
on
receive
to.
something.
Oh,
Yep.
And
yes.
so one of the other things, too, in reference to documentary or film, whatnot, somebody, what was I getting ready to say? I forgot. But let me just go to another point.
It's all good.
You know, there were so many points and whatnot. I forgot.
But we don't have all day.
I know, so let me
well,
just leave it
let me
at that.
holler at you
I have other
real
content.
quick, because I think that what you just said about people trying to gain access is important. I want to just drill in on that for a second. So, in church this weekend, the sermon was about us complaining from a place of privilege. We're privileged individuals. Despite what we think, we have a lot of privilege. Look what's going on right now.
That, yes.
We're freely talking on this microphone,
Yes.
saying anything we want about the world,
Yeah.
about our lives. And sometimes we get complacent and we complain about things that really aren't a problem. They're not really a problem if you look at it from a different angle. Move your perspective around, you see it another way. So, to your point, if people want to come, all they got to do is investigate, look, and try. And we, again, if you think, well, maybe I'll write a letter or a quick email to let them know my interest. We have volunteer opportunities where one can volunteer, and that gives you access to the space. But you have to read through our website to see that.
I understand.
You got to understand that you can't just gloss over something
Right.
and then complain about not having the opportunity, because the opportunity was staring you in the face the whole time. And
right.
all you did when you got the opportunity was go, no, that's not the opportunity I was talking about. That's not, I was hoping to get to the top of the,
Yeah,
no.
there's avenues
It's
and
taken me
there's, right.
30 years.
Yes.
Again, to speak in this type of firmness and tell the public, nah, you got it all mixed up. It's not about going out here and getting some kind of big deal and then becoming successful.
Right.
No, you have to work your way up to that, and that's the steps to success. And then one day you look around and you're like, oh my God, I'm successful.
Absolutely. That was wonderful
I
explaining.
have time for one more.
Yes. I'll give it to you.
No, you really explained everything. Just let me ask this quick question in reference to. Let me say this. I have a documentary, right, that I have done.
Yes, sir.
You know, who do I see and speak to, and how does one determine if it's worth something? Because again, in the film industry, we know even bloopers become valuable at some point.
Sure.
But even in the beginning, who determines what is and what isn't as far as, well, is the content, well, and then leave it? Or is there somebody or person to work with you?
Well, I can give you the background on that. When you say you made a documentary, which you can make, right? But there's a format that has to be followed,
Right.
in order for it to be broadcast worthy.
Okay.
And so initially, when you have to go into it with some basic knowledge of the storytelling process and the structure of telling a story, right? If you're writing it.
Right.
And then I would suggest that you always try to do one thing at a time.
Right.
Don't spread yourself too thin where you're writing something and now you're going to grab a video camera and now you're going to try to shoot that same thing.
Okay,
No, get somebody else to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe get somebody else to direct it.
Right.
You just wrote it.
Right.
But as the writer and the creator, you have a say-so in how it moves along.
Right.
But let somebody who's familiar with that
With the
format
process. Yes.
and
yes.
that process,
Yes.
it's not second nature for you to know how to construct a television program, documentary, or film. It's not second nature. You have to either watch thousands of them and understand what you're seeing, the intro, the epilogue,
Right.
the
Right.
angle of the camera and the lighting and the quality
Yes,
of the
yes,
camera,
yes,
all
yes.
of those things, the sound, the composition,
Right.
all of that stuff matters, right? And if you just think that, I'm just going to shoot this and I'm going to call it a documentary, and I'm not speaking to you specifically, but I've seen a lot of content where people call it something, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that's not it. I appreciate what you've attempted, but there's something else missing. And that's the lesson, is to really, really study the craft. I heard that so much in my early days, and I did that. I studied it. I studied it in books. I actually watched too much television that I've watched so much TV and film that now I don't.
Are there people in place, for example, let's say somebody like you just expressed,
Yeah.
that's raw, to come in and say, look, directly what you said, which is so important for somebody who's raw and have no clue,
Sure.
but it's like taking a class for the first time.
Sure.
Who does a person sit down with to maybe make adjustments to really create it to become something?
Well, again, it's about the quality of your network. So that's the first thing. And then I would go right back to my original statement is, come to the Queen City Film Festival. October 16th to the 19th, by the way, this year, which is the 8th year. And that's where you're going to find a resource of local experts, mid-level experts, and internationally known experts. You may see an Oscar winner there. You may see an Emmy winner there. And I can guarantee you this year we have the great Bobby Yan, who is a television director and has won 8 Emmys. And this is like his 3rd or 4th time coming here. He's holding a class on how to direct for TV.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's free.
Is it advertised, though?
It's advertised and it's free. It's on our website. We just
So
put out
that's
our
the thing,
newsletter
that
yesterday.
website is it.
It'll be in Tap Into coming up very soon. I'm here advertising it right now
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
Telling
to the villagers. Are you listening?
Telling you directly. That's why I came, was to share this good news and this good information with your audience and anybody who wants to pick it up along the way.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We were so honored, and we
The honor
learned
is all
so
mine.
much from your visit today.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you.
want to again thank you. Thank you for taking that time to share your expertise.
Absolutely,
and
my
contact
pleasure.
information. And I'm going to be at that film festival,
You
and I
got
know
it.
the villagers are too.
And if anybody has like more specific questions, I'm going to give you this email address. You can send your queries, and it is QC filmfest at gmail.com.
Okay.
And you can send a litany of questions there about the film festival, about breaking into the business, how can I be a volunteer, and somebody will get back to you. One of our volunteers or staffers will get back to you with those answers. Sorry, and then we'll go from there. But it really does take, as you just mentioned, the villagers have to take the first step.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
again.
you.
We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you all as well. Have a
Thank you.
good afternoon and continued success with this show. I really appreciate the amount of culture and relevant information that you continue to present to the public. So thank you for what y'all are doing.
Ruby is a trooper.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And we
Miss
are going
Ruby
to
is a
continue.
legend. Miss
Yes,
Ruby
she
is a legend.
Yes, she
My
is.
queen in the Queen City.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
our queen
So
in the
big
Queen
ups to Ruby
City.
Shivers and
Yes,
BKS1.
absolutely.
I'm just honored to be here, and to be asked to be here a second time was just really it made my heart swell. So
And
thank you
we
so much
thank
for
you.
continuing
We
to reach
thank
out.
you. Thank
Y'all have a
you.
good one.
Yes. And this afternoon, villagers, we want to, before we close out, we just want to give Halim, our co-host, let him have the closing words before I give special shout out to everybody that was involved that makes this show possible. So Halim, again, what say ye? What do you want to say in closing?
Thank you, and watch this podcast on Facebook.
Yeah, you got to talk a little louder so our villagers can hear you.
Watch the podcast on YouTube, Facebook,
On YouTube? Yeah.
Instagram, BKS1 Radio, and yeah. See you next week.
And see you next month.
Mom.
Yes, thank you so much. And I just want to tell everybody watching again, thank you. Remember to support us. Ruby here is doing a great job, but it takes a whole village to do this. And we need to not only the support of your listening, but we need the support of your funds. So there's many ways that you can contribute. You can contribute Cash App, and it's all posted on the bottom of the screen. And well, again, we thank you. We thank Norm, who's not here with us today. Again, most of all, Ruby Shivers. I thank my co-host here, Mr. Wonderful, Poetically Speaking, the voice of Poetically Speaking. And everyone has joined us today. I sincerely give my shout out and my thank you. And God bless you all. Okay, this is the end of our program, but we do have a couple more minutes. So I want to ask. I want to ask Halim, did he forget to tell us something?
Well, thank you, Halim. You are our youth co-host who will be with me every week. Tell us a little about yourself. The homeschool is one we created after that. From Flag made some incorrect assumptions about our history. What grade are you in and your regular school? Do you get African American history there?
I mean, my regular school, not really, but in my homeschool, yeah.
In your homeschool, you get a lot of African history. Could you talk up a little louder so all the villagers can hear you? What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
You're in 8th grade. And what are you taking in school in terms of history? What are you learning?
I'm learning math, ELA, science, social studies. Yeah.
Any of history about us? Anything? Martin Luther King Day? Anything?
Yeah, and ELA.
Okay, you are learning something, but that is great.
You know, one of the most important things to that, and I commend you for being here as well as being so excited about learning. One of the most important things, continue to learn by reading your history. All books, no matter what, even if you may not understand, you have a family, you have your grandparents, you have your parents, you have a whole village to help you tell the stories and understand the story. But it's up to you to ask the question, what does this mean? You know, but go all the way back as far as you can because you are tomorrow's future. You see, so I'm inspired by you, and I want to thank you for even being a co-host here. You know, so keep writing. My understanding, you're a young poet, you're a novelist, you a filmmaker, you everything
Very
that you want to
talented.
be.
Yes,
Very
he is.
talented. Showcase who you are, and that's what's important.
Thank you.
Okay? So now what are you going to do tomorrow?
Read books and study.
Read books. Okay, Halim, we just want to again thank you for coming and sharing and getting the experience and closing us out. I'm new to hosting the show also, and I can't wait for Ruby to come back next week. But this has been an honor and a pleasure. We've had great guests today. And I want to definitely give a shout out to, before we close out for good, I want to give a shout out to Norm again, who's not here. He's our engineer. He keeps everything going. I want to shout out to our producer, Sheila. I want to do a shout out to Juanita. And again, most of all, Ruby Shivers. It has been an honor to be here today and to fill in for Ruby once again. So do you want the last words?
Well, let me say this. First, we are truly glad to have you here today. I know you will be bringing young people in as guests to talk to the youth. I'm so proud of you. Any advice for them?
Yeah, I hope they do good.
Talk up loud. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
What's the advice you give to the young people?
do good.
To do good
Mhm.
and to work hard.
Yeah. And to watch the show.
And most of all, I was waiting for that, to watch the show. This is what we're dedicated to educating you, young people, so you can carry the torch. This is what we're training you for, so that you could take over one day and have a host of people that are following you and joining in the struggle.
And you know, continue. Seriously, be serious when you talk to your friends and all around. Always understand that those who are interested in knowing and learning, talk with them, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because each one teach one.
Yes.
Each one teach one.
Yes.
Each one that teach one reach one.
Yes.
And you'll see the village continue to come together and to rise because y'all will be the next generation. Because again, everyone that comes to you, they look at you as being the teacher, the author. They want to learn from you. Because as you learn, you teaching them and pass it on. And that's how we all, even here, even as your grandmother, your parents, and everybody else here, we help each other. We didn't just start at the top. We was a little tiny seed, a little bud that came into a plant. So that's what's important. So again, inspire others.
And we thank you again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, villagers, we thank you. We appreciate you. And again, don't forget to join us next week. Okay?